Hey, call me Shape, and today I'm reacting to a video titled High Value Man Refuses to Pay Child Support After She Denies a DNA Test. Let's get right into it.
There was nothing to think about at that time because I had no reason to suspect that he wasn't my child when I signed the acknowledgement of paternity.
The state of California in the year 2020 made $430 million off of child support payments. And if some of you don't know,
you have been homeless.
I have been homeless because I can't pay rent, pay my bills because my checks have been garnished. 66 1/3% of my check.
Oh my God.
And I can't pay rent. I can't do nothing. I don't have a life.
In the case of Brewington versus Lee, when it comes to 3-year-old Giovanni Lee, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Lee, you are not the father.
Told you.
Hold up.
I already knew. I told you.
Don't look at me like that. I don't know God's plan.
Who else? It was you that was.
Did you just inject God in this?
I did not put him in this. I'm just saying. Okay, Miss Canada. All right. You brought this case before the court. What's going on?
I'm seeking child support and back pay from this man.
Okay, just straightforward. That's what I like. Just get right into it. How old is the child?
The child is now 3 years old.
3 years old.
And I have not received any child support.
In 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Sir, is there a reason you haven't given her any child support in the past 3 years?
Yes, ma'am, there is.
What is that? We've
been discussing the paternity obligation.
Okay.
Under the circumstances, I don't think I was the only person having a fling with Rocky at the time that she and I had that time together. And,
excuse me? Are you implying something?
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I understand that you may have been seeing some other people in addition to me. And the reason that I haven't provided...
Well, those are rumors.
I understand that. I understand that. But you haven't complied with my request for DNA test either, and that's my key. Is that if I have an obligation, I like to make sure it is my obligation and not the obligation of some other father.
Well, maybe you should have been obligated to your wife whenever you were having an affair with me.
You're right about that. And honest
so
truth is
you are
that,
admitting that you're married?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've told her. I've told her that we had this fling.
You didn't tell me you were married until after.
That's correct. That's correct. I did not tell you.
I'm sorry, I won't disrupt you guys anymore. Go ahead.
Okay. So, from my perspective, Your Honor, I certainly understand the situation. I'm not trying to be hard-hearted, so to speak, about this, but I think that there's some other questions that need to be answered before we agree on paying any kind of...
Before we agree on anything, bro, what are you doing? You're old behind shooting up clubs and young girls still. This is my kind of guy, and he's married. You see? The men at the top. Women got to share them. Right? And his wife probably took him back like, you know what? That's right, man. Hopefully the baby's not yours. That's hysterical. Look at this guy, right? He has to be, pushing almost 70 years old? And that girl who's probably in her early to late 20s? Where did they meet each other, from work? I'm really curious about this, y'all, because this excites me. As I'm aging, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I could still hook up with 20-year-old girls when I'm in my 60s and my 70s.
Support, because at this point, we haven't confirmed whose child this is.
I already like the way this man is ready to take ownership of whatever happened between him and her, especially if there was a child born. This man seems to be very coherent about the fact that he want to make sure before he even sign a birth certificate that it's his child. Unlike this lady who is trying to put this man on child support and haven't even gave him a DNA test yet. You already know at this point she's thinking about nothing but this man's money.
I don't think they have anything to do with child support. It's more about you guys' backstory, but that has nothing to do with me. However, has this man taken a DNA test at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Did he sign anything at the hospital?
No, he wasn't
acknowledging
there.
that he was the father? Okay. So he does have a valid point.
Wait, hold on. How do you women get pregnant by men that don't even show up to the hospital when you give them birth? This is modern woman best practices 101, right? You guys are not even married to the guy. You found out the guy's married. And you're pushing out that baby without having him in the labor room, the delivery room. Wild.
Before we can actually place him on child support, he either has to accept parentage, which, according to what I'm hearing, you're really not accepting it.
He's in denial about his affair and doesn't want his wife to find out.
My wife knows.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
right.
knows now.
He's lying.
You told her?
I would have heard from her by now. I work with him, ma'am.
Oh. At the welding place?
I'm a receptionist there. That's how we met.
You're her direct manager. Oh, okay.
Yes, Judge, you know how this goes. It happens in the workplace every day. Women are always going to be hypergamous, looking for the top male they can find in any environment that they are in.
So, yeah, he's entitled to a DNA test.
Sure.
Okay, so before we can move forward with anything in terms of child support, looking at your financial documents you provided, he first needs to get a DNA test. So what I can do is you guys go and get the DNA test, then you can come back at a later date, possibly, if he's the father. If he's not the father, you are more than welcome to bring back as many people as necessary. I'm not implying by any means that what he's saying is true.
Right, he's
but
definitely
if he's
the
not
father.
the father, you can bring back as many people as necessary to get DNA testing, and we actually find the father and place him on child support.
Well, I know who it is, so that's not necessary, but thank you.
Okay. Is there anything further?
Your Honor, can we get your assistance in having this thing compelled so that we can get this DNA testing done expeditiously?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And it will be done through the Attorney General's office.
Okay.
Because they are actually on site in the courtroom, and it will be in the courthouse rather. And it will be much easier and free to you all to go ahead and use their resource. Okay? If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Thank you.
Rocky?
You're welcome.
If I have obligations here, I'll stand behind them.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
And you see how she tried to throw in there talking about he was married. Like she wanted to throw that in there.
This is how white people do child support, okay? They go to the court, they don't yell, they don't fight, they don't kick, they don't scream, they don't have a temper tantrum, okay? He knew he was banging the secretary. The secretary knew she was banging the boss. The secretary probably knew he was married too and still let him hit it raw and shoot up the club. Diabolical, yeah? But debauchery runs America, as you know. Hedonism is the way. Listen, guys, I obviously think that every man who has a child with a woman, whether she is your wife, your girlfriend, if you think you know, I'd recommend you get a test, okay? I know too many people personally who've discovered late in life that the child ain't theirs, right? Someone I know personally, and I don't know, maybe you'd be upset that I'm talking about it, but I'm not naming him. But either way, he found out that not only his son wasn't his granddaughter wasn't his. So here he is thinking he's a grandfather, come to find out that the child's not even his. And what's the messed up part about it all is the children have his last name. Yes. The son that's not his and the grandchild that's not his. A life of confusion from a simple mistake a woman makes and not taking accountability. This is what the world is. So this is why I think a woman's chastity is so important. And we need to get back to the times where women preserve their chastity for marriage and only sleep with one partner their entire lives. Woman, can you get down with this? Have one person you sleep with your entire life. A body count of one. We need to get back to the body count of one. Your ancestors had a body count of one. Unless they were the mistress. Unless they were the side chick. The side chick, she's everybody's side chick, you know? But the wife, body count of one. Okay, men, always in the hundreds, you know, because men had multiple wives. Prior to HIV and AIDS, people didn't have to worry about infectious diseases. But now, of course, we have to tone that down a little bit. And we can't have as much fun as our ancestors prior to the 80s. But even still, the pull-out method works well. And I'm the kind of guy where I'm so precautious of the women I sleep with nowadays is that we got to both get tested before we hook up. Yeah. Right? We both got to get tested. Because there's no punani out there worth it suffering for the rest of my life from one choice, one night of the sweet watery guts. There's not a girl out here that's worth it, right? And so, like I said, man, if you have a child, if you're a father right now, and if you've never got a paternity test of your kid, today's the day. Yeah, do it secretly. Swab his mouth, her mouth, the child's mouth. Do it without them knowing, and then surprise her, when you find out.
Kind of embarrass him, so the judge would just go with her request. She had that little smirk on her face. She was just trying to play on the system because she saw a woman judge. But she's the one that need to be shamed because she was sleeping with her married boss at her job. But she trying to shame him in court.
Woman refuses to get the DNA test.
Like, do you think that I was cheating at all? Our whole relationship, we've been together 5 years. You always know where I'm at. I'm always at the house. If I do leave out the house, I'm with you. You honestly think I was cheating?
I don't think you was cheating, but what's wrong with me getting a DNA test?
Why do you need a DNA test?
I just want to know for a fact.
You do know for a fact.
I don't know for a fact.
You don't know for a fact that this your child.
That's what the DNA test for. No.
Exactly. DNA test is to make sure it's 100% fact. Because like I said, 30% of men who take DNA tests find out the kid.
But these are the laws that's been set up in this country, and we know why they've been set up that way, so the courts can profit off of it. Because this lady here talked about how much money courts make off these child support cases. Check this out.
So in a few seconds, you guys are going to watch a video clip of a father who signed as the legal father of what he thought was his child. And he explains that he didn't really know what the repercussions were because he didn't think at the time that the child wasn't his, which rightfully so. I mean, if you're signing your thing and you're with that person, you're thinking, that's my child. But I want to throw out some statistics that I thought are rather earth-shattering or very mind-opening, just to kind of piece the puzzle pieces together of this whole child support system. So last year, America, all 50 states, collected roughly about $33 billion in child support payments collectively. The state of California in the year 2020 made $430 million off of child support payments. And if some of you don't know, a majority of the states in America do not pay 100% of the child support payments to the child, meaning they're keeping a portion of it. Not only that, the state of California,
the government's corrupt, man. Jesus Christ, you're keeping a portion of our money that you said is child support, but you keep it for yourself in the court cost. With a system like this, we're all designed to fail, because the family court is making shmoney. You know what I'm saying? So it's in their best business interest to keep men on child support, and if anything, keep people in court longer to accrue more court fees. And wasting everybody's time, but, building a career for the lawyers and the magistrates. I think, look, if people don't realize that the government, we need a limited government. We don't need a government this big. When our founding fathers landed on this brilliant country and made the Constitution and set forth, the laws and the guidelines for the government, they were thinking keep the government small. Because if the government grew, it would do outrageous and egregious things like this. Make billions of dollars on the backs of men who are trying to provide for their kids under the obligation of the law. 53 billion, I think she said, 53 billion dollars in child support collected, and they're keeping a couple billions for themselves. Does that seem morally right? This is why we got to take it in our own hands. Men, you got to settle the disputes with your women. This is why you got to choose a woman who she don't want to take you to court. She don't want to walk down the aisle and sign papers. She knows that you're more than enough. Listen, I'm the kind of guy where if I have a kid with a girl, if we break up for whatever reason, I'm filing for child support. I'll raise those kids. For real. You know what I'm saying? I will raise those kids myself. I will be or we'll have joint custody. But no way you're getting 100% custody and I need, supervised visitation. Hell no. What? This is why I'm about to be 37 in a week and I don't have kids yet because I got to be very careful. And women, I know this hurts to hear, but I don't got to freeze my sperm. I don't got to freeze it. I make 300 million plus sperm cells a day. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. So the baby batter, keep battering. You feel me? And because of this, and since I make brand new sperm cells, as long as I keep myself healthy, in good shape, my genetics are going to be good, and my gametes are going to be better. Right? This is the way to live. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it. What do you guys think about it? Like the video, subscribe to the channel blowing up. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss a single piece of content I'm dropping. I drop like 5 videos a day. Okay? Share this video with someone you think could appreciate it. Tell them to get a test right away. Let them know child support is corrupt. And I'll see you guys at my other videos.